What is up, everyone? Welcome to the next series, next episode of the JSON API hotel reservation backend system. Today, previous lesson, we basically learned about how to test these handlers, and I hope you guys took some time to basically try to implement these other handlers, like the tests, like get a user and get a list of users and update and delete. We probably are going to cover them. It's kind of the same mechanic, right? Once you know how to set it up, you can basically test these other routes, right? But in this, we're gonna try to get some progress because it's very important that you guys, if you're learning something, if you're building a project, a lot of people are basically quit their building projects, and the reason is that you basically stick at a topic, a certain piece of a topic in your project for way too long. For example, you create this user CRUD, and then you're going to test all these handlers, and you're going to do this and authentication, and it's going to be days and days and hours of only that user thing, and then validation, and it's not good enough, and you're going to make it a little bit better, and before you know, you're spending weeks on just your user CRUD, and your project doesn't seem to progress, and that's the problem. So that's something that I want to teach you. That's what I learned in my experiences, is to keep moving fast and to keep generating new dopamine, new stuff in your project. And yeah, right, that's what we're going to do. So basically, first of all, we're going to have these types here, right? And we're going to make a new type, right? It's time to basically start to make our hotel. Just like that, we're going to experiment a little bit. So we're going to have types. We're going to be type, wait, this is way too small. Boom. This sounds a little bit better, right? So it's going to be 30. We're going to say type hotel. It's going to be a structure, right? And the same thing, what we're going to do, we're going to open up on the other side. We're going to open up our user type. And we could basically copy, I just want to copy this beautiful ID here. This one, hop. And I'm going to paste it in, close this. Boom, and save it. So we're going to have this hotel with a primitive object ID. And we're going to give this hotel a name. It's going to be a string, for example. And this is going to be a BSON. This is how, remember, this is basically the tag, so how this name is going to reflect in our database. So we're going to say name. And for JSON, that's going to be name also. And do we made a mistake here? Yes, we did. Boom. Fine. We're also going to give this a location, maybe. Location. For now, it's going to be a string. We're not going to make it too complicated. String, by the way. Boom. Not too complicated. So we're going to say location. And for our database, also location. And we are going to have some rooms, right? Each hotel is going to have some rooms. So basically, the idea is that we're going to have a bunch of hotels. And each hotel is going to have some rooms. And these rooms are going to have, I don't know, a type and some number of a price and all that stuff, right? And then we are going to make an API so the user can basically book a room, reserve a room, or whatever you want to call it, from a specific hotel, maybe for a specific time, and all that stuff. That's what we're going to do, right? So we're going to have rooms here. There's going to be a slice. A couple things we can do, right? You could say this could be we could make a room struct, and it could be a slice of rooms. The problem is that your hotel is going to have an embedded document, an embedded rooms array. And if a user want to book a room, you need to think about that as, how are we going to identify that room? Right, then we need to have an identifier inside of this hotel room array. And I think the best thing we could do is do it a little bit more with a primitive, right? We could say a primitive.object ID. Object ID, that's what we're going to do. We're going to paste that in, I guess. I'm going to say it's going to be a rooms. And this is going to be rooms, right? Yeah. Just like that, right? Do we need something else? Of course, you could say time insert and all that stuff, but hey, I don't really care about when it's inserted, when it's deleted. I mean, You know the stuff, right? We're not going to cover all these nitpicking stuff. That's something you can figure out yourself very easily. It's just adding a timestamp, right? I mean, of course, we're going to add it when we reserve or book a room, but for now, let's keep things going, eh? Let's keep things going. So, primitive object ID, name, location, string, we have rooms. Do we need something more? I don't think for now. So what we also could do is instead of making a room file, we could maybe put rooms inside of the hotel file. I don't know. So we could say type room. It's maybe a little bit for... Maybe we can extract it out later on. It's easier for me, so we don't need to spin around in these files, right? So we're going to copy this ID basically, because a room is going to have its own ID. A room is going to have a type. So maybe we're going to say it's going to be a room type. Yes, a room type. And that's going to be a BSON. Let me copy. I'll type it out, no worries. It's going to be a BSON. Maybe we're going to say type actually. Yeah, let's call it type. And for JSON, the same thing. I'm going to say it's going to be type. So the type of the room, what do I mean by that? It could be, I don't know. We will see, I'm going to make it. So there is no room type yet, so we're going to make this here. I'm going to say type, room type. Room type. It's going to be an int, it's fine for me. And I'm going to say const, I'm going to make it an enum. I'm going to say, I have an idea. We're going to say single person room type is going to be a room type, and that's going to be iota double. Let's make the single room type, right? Double room type. Let's make it seaside room type and deluxe room type. I don't know. You're all gonna have their prices. I know, but it doesn't really matter, right? You're not gonna take that into account, basically. Because if you really wanna make it as actually further, you could say, for example, you could make another kind of another kind of document that basically describes the room types with a price. Maybe we're gonna do that. Not quite sure. Let's keep it a little bit simple, right? This is basically just coming out of the top of my head, these room types here. So we're gonna have this room type here. What do we need? We need a price actually. Let's call it a base price. I have a good idea. Let's call it a base price. And that's going to be a float 64. It's basically based on the room. Let's copy this, paste it in. And that's going to be price, actually base price. Base price. Because this is going to be 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. So what we could do is, I have an idea. So what we could do is make this one, you could say non-room. Actually, we could make this an underscore. And that's going to be a room type. And that's iota. And delete it here. So that basically means that single room type is going to be 1, double room type 2, seaside room type is 3, and deluxe room type is 4. So we could do a base price times the room type. You know what I mean? So then we have some kind of a generic price, eh? What do you think about that? We still have a problem, actually. I don't know where it is. Expected idents at 3. Can I not do this? I made a mistake or something? Single room type, yada yada yada. This should be fine actually, to be honest. What's going on? I think it's basically just him. Let's kill this. Oh, it's this one. Let's kill it, open it again. What is going on here? It's a little bit better. Where are we? Hotel. Yeah, this is fine. So we have this room types here. That's good. Actually, what we could do is let's make a price. Let's make a price. Let's also call it float 64 actually. Why not? Let's delete this, paste that in, and let's call this price. Yeah. I think that's good. So we have a room, and then we're gonna make this a hotel ID, which is going to be primitive dot object ID. And that's going to be hotel ID. Just like that. Yes. And then we have these rooms here. That's fine. So how can we actually get some stuff going here? Okay, I think it's time to basically set up some shenanigans here. So we're going back to the root folder, and what I'm thinking what we're gonna do is create some kind of a script file folder. I'm gonna call this scripts, yes, and inside of scripts we're gonna make a new file, and I'm gonna call it seed.go. Boom. It's a package main. That's perfectly fine, because how we're gonna do this is this, right? So I'm gonna say something like that: seeding the database, and what you could do is basically call. Actually, let's open up our make file, and we're gonna call seed, and we're gonna say @, is going to be go run scripts main.go make seed. No such file. Do we make a mistake? Oh, we made seed. I'm so bad. You could say go run seed.go make seed. Boom, seeding the database, right? So that's fine. Now with make seed we can actually call that script. So we're going to say seed.go here, and we're going to have some multiple scripts. You could basically say, why don't we use some kind of a command line application? Hey, this is simple. Keep it simple, guys. Keep it simple. Because then you need to have a package to do that, or you're gonna make it yourself, and by the end of the day, you're gonna basically spend 2 hours doing that for no reason at all. What's the benefit? In order to do that, it's gonna be a little bit of nasty, because let's see. Because I'm going to think about how we're going to insert these things, how we're going to mock that up, how we're going to set that thing up. So I think we should have something like hotel is going to be a types.hotel. All right, so it's fine. Let me open up types here, hotel, by the way, because I don't know what's in there. A name and a location, right? So we're going to say the name of this thing is going to be Balusia, and the location is going to be is in Narnia. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's make it a real country. Let's say it's in France or something. I don't know. It's in France, right? That's this hotel. Rooms, we don't care about that, right? Yeah. Yes, so let's make a room, and that's going to be a types room, and I think we're going to have something like a name. Do we have a name? I don't think so. A type, and that's going to be we could say types dot let's make it a single room type, right? Let's say that the base price of this thing is going to be, I don't know, 99. It's base price a day probably, right? Base price a day. What's going on here? Let's make it 99, 99.9, right? We also need a price, but that's what we're going to calculate later on. What do we still need? Let me see. Hotel. Price, hotel ID, base price type. Yes, fine. We already have it. It's going to be a type single room, yada, yada, yada. So the next thing we're going to do is we need to basically add this room to this hotel. So the first thing we need to do is basically find a way to insert that hotel into the database. That's going to be simple. But the problem is we don't have any hotel storage. And that's what we're going to do. We need the hotel storage. So we're going to store here, db user store. We're going to make a new one. So now we also need the room storage and all that stuff. So you see, it's gonna get a little bit more complicated and a little bit more complex, a little bit more verbose. So we're gonna make a new file. It's going to be in hotel store. .go, just like that. We're gonna say type hotel store interface. What we're gonna do is basically insert an insert method. What I want to double check is how we do that with users, so we have some consistent things going on. Get user insert hotel. That's what we're gonna say. Insert hotel. We're gonna take a context, and it's gonna take in a pointer to an types dot hotel, and it's gonna return. What do we return? On hotel. That's fine. It's perfectly fine. So let's delete this. It's going to be a pointer to a types hotel with the ID. Very important, because otherwise we cannot. Yeah. So that's that. And then we're going to say func. Let's make a type first. Type hotel store. Wait, let me see real quick how we did this with user. I want to make it consistent. User store. It's going to be a Mongo user store. Okay, it's cool. It's going to be a Mongo hotel store structure, and we're going to say the same thing. It's going to have a client, which is going to be a Mongo client, and a collection, which is going to be a Mongo.collection. That's fine. And then we're going to say that we can delete this actually, to be honest. Hop. And then we're going to say new func new Mongo hotel store with the client. It's going to be a Mongo.client. And we're going to say DB name, I guess. That's something we did previous lesson. And that's going to return us basically, I think, does it return us an error in the user store? No, it doesn't. It doesn't return us an error. That's fine. I'm going to keep the same semantics. Mongo hotel store, and we're going to return this Mongo hotel store, and we're going to say that the client is going to be the client, and the collection is going to be client.database. What is going on here? Client.data. I'm going to type hinted because it's going to fuck me up. DB name collection hotels. Just like that. Yeah, I think that's good. That's good. That's good. So Mongo Hotel Store. So we have that, and then we can basically insert one. Yeah, let's implement that. So we're going to say func store Mongo Hotel Store insert hotel ctx context. That's going to be an hotel is a pointer to a types.hotel, which is going to help. Going to return me a pointer to a types hotel, and of course an error, and we are going to say something like s.call insert one CTX hotel. There's going to be a response and an error. And I think check if the error is not null. I'm thinking again what's going to return. We're going to return basically null and the error. On the other side, I think we're going to have inserted ID. So we need to say that the hotel dot ID is going to be this one, and then we're going to return this hotel and null. I think that's the play here. You cannot use that because it's an interface. It's fine because we're going to cast it to a primitive dot object ID. That's what we're going to do here, right? So that's a way to insert these hotels. So if I go back to my seed, what I can do is basically, first of all, I can make my storages. So I could say, for example, hotel store is going to be a db.new hotel store. Of course, we need to have a client, so we're going to back to main, and we can basically copy our client shenanigans here and paste that in at the top. Boom. So we have this db URI, we don't have that, so we could basically go back to, actually, what we could do, guys, let's make something cool, something better. We're going to have db here. So we have our db name here. What we're going to do is we are going to say db URI, and what we're going to do is open up main, and instead of, I'm going to delete this db name, I'm going to paste that in here. We're going to, you see, from time to time we refactor our program a little bit, right? This user collection, that's fine. Not quite sure what this is still doing here, so we're going to delete that. This is the db URI, and then we're also going to have a test db URI, which is basically, actually, to be honest, it doesn't matter. db name, test db name, that's what I was thinking. Test db name, and that's going to be hotel reservation test, right? And now this is going to complain that it cannot find this db URI, so we're going to say db.db URI, and this is going to be db.db name. I think we are Gucci. I think we're going to have some problems. Let's make test to see if we have some problems in our tests. Yes, script seed is a problem. And we also have a script seed is a problem. Yeah, but that's something we know. Okay, cool. So the next thing we could do, instead of, now we can actually call this from db, the DB file, right? There is where all the magic happens. So we're going to make a new Mongo hotel store. We're going to pass in this client, and we're going to say the db.db name. Perfectly fine. We could also basically hard code that in another file, but it's fine. So we're going to have that hotel store. And now what we could do is basically something like, we could say underscore is a room for the compiler, because we don't print that. We could do something like, for example, hotel store, insert hotel, and that's going to be our hotel here. And that's going to return the hotel, actually the inserted hotel. Error is going to be this thing, if r is not null. We're just actually testing, right? So it's a seed file. We're going to do some other stuff in the seed file, but it's just seeing how we could insert this. We're going to say log fatal, how we could insert these things. Not enough arguments, that's true, because we need a CTX, so we could actually make that here. At the top, we're going to say CTX is going to be a context background. Just like that, and then we are going to pass that in here. And we see if the mic is close enough. CTX, that's fine. Inserted hotel. Let's say, let's print that out. Inserted hotel. Cannot use hotel variable. Yada yada yada. That's true. That's because we need a pointer here. So we're gonna grab that in, and we're gonna say make seed. All right, we got an object ID. Balucia France, mesdames et messieurs. un petit peu, parler un petit peu français? Ah oui, ça va bien. All right, so that's working. So now we actually have an ID. So what we could do is, let's make it inconvenient first and let's make it better after. Listen, guys, I'm going to tell you the secret of success in programming. And this is no lie. The secret of success. First, you make it work. Then you make it better. And then you make it faster. So you first make it work. You write some tests. You then make it better. You refactor it into a better way. And then you make it super fast. That's the circle of success. All right? So we have this inserted hotel. The next thing we are going to do is we are going to say that the room.hotel ID is basically inserted hotel.id, right? And then we could basically store the room. So now we need a room storage. Isn't that nasty? But it is what it is, guys. So we are going to back to DB. So we have a user store, hotel store. Let's make a room store .go. And what you could do is basically open up hotel store. And we could... what are we doing? We don't need a room store. It's wait. DB. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I'm gonna basically copy everything here. I'm gonna copy this whole shebang, yoink it, paste it in our room store, like this. Delete this. So now we're gonna say it's gonna be a room store. Insert. You could say insert, actually, to be honest. Why do we do that? Why do we make it so complex? It's fine. Insert room. It's going to be a room here. And it's going to return the types room, right? Oh, just like that. And then this can stay completely the same. Of course, it's going to be a new Mongo room store, by the way. A room store. The question is, do we need all these stores? Well, no. You could basically have no interfaces at all, of one interface, storage interface at one giant thing. But I'm not big of a fan of that, right? I'm not big of a fan to doing that. So let's split things out, right? It's going to be better in the long run. Trust me. It's going to be a Mongo room store. Undeclared name. So we need to change this to a Mongo room store. Mongo, and actually, by the way, so many storages we don't have. It's just room store and all that stuff. It's going to be the collection of this thing. It's going to be rooms. And we're going to change the name to a room store here. Hop. And of course, this hotel, we don't need this. It's going to be a room. And it's going to return a room. Hotel ID, a room ID. It's going to be that. So the problem is, if we're going to insert a room here, we also need to specify, it's fine. Insert room, undeclared name hotel is going on here, room. And we're going to return room here. So what we could do, we could double check this. We could say, it's going to be fine. It's going to be perfectly fine. Yeah. See if you don't have any copy paste errors. Probably not. Let's go back to seed. Seeds here. All right. So we're going to have this room hotel is this one. And actually, to be honest, What we're going to do is each time we're basically going to insert a room. We're also going to update the hotel, but that's for later on. So what we're going to do is hotel ID, insert hotel, and then we need to do something like, we need to create the room store. So what we could do is here is a hotel store. We're going to copy this. We're going to say a room store. And it's going to be a DB new Mongo room store, just like that. DB name, the whole shebang. And then what we could do is basically say if inserted room R, actually to be honest, is going to be room store, insert room, and we're going to insert this room here. If let's copy this thing real quick, boom, paste it in. That's already been taken care of. Delete this, inserted room. Let's basically do this, inserted room below the hotel. Not enough arguments, that's true, because we also need a CTX here. And okay, this needs the pointer, perfectly fine. Let's make test real quick, boom. Oh, make test is going to be make seat, by the way. My bad. Making seat, so now we have basically this hotel with this ID, and this is a room that has this hotel inside of it. That's basically good, right? So we could basically make multiple rooms, right? So let's say we're gonna have room A. How are we gonna do this? Room A like that, maybe. Room B. That's gonna be a types. Let's make it the deluxe room, to be honest. Deluxe room type. The base price of this deluxe room type is going to be $199, by the way. Actually, to be honest, we could, we could set these prices. I don't think we need the base price. We could just directly set the price, to be honest. But yeah, it is what it is. So we have room A, we have room B. What we could do is, instead of doing, you could loop through all these rooms and insert them. You could also do an insert many. It's a little bit, it depends, right? It depends. You could make something like this. Rooms is going to be a slice of types.room, right? And we're going to directly make it. And then we could say something like type here. Actually, to be honest, let's paste that in. Paste that in, delete this. Delete this, save this, copy these two things, copy this, paste that in, save, new line, delete, just like that. So we have two rooms. We can actually make another one. Boom, paste that in. That's going to be, let's say, a types dot, what do we have? An seaside. I want a seaside room type. Maybe that's a little bit cheaper, 122, boom, 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 rooms declared. Yeah. And then what you could do here is basically if you want to add them to this hotel, you could loop here for underscore room range. That's ZZ here, range rooms. Do this. Hop, this hotel, we don't need this. Inserted room, we need. We're going to say that the room hotel ID is this. Inserted room is this. And we should actually have these rooms. Is that true? I don't know. Make seat. Yeah, so I think you see, we inserted all these rooms, and if we open up our hotel reservation app, you can see we have these. Of course, this is not gonna work. Hotel reservation. Can I actually refresh this thing? What's going on? Where are my rooms? How do I refresh this? Hotels is fine, right? I can refresh that, but it's not. Let's do a disconnect then. Connect once again. Okay, now we have rooms here. Boom. So we have all these rooms here with the same hotel ID, right? That's fine. Okay, so that's the thing. The problem is I don't really like. We need to make a little bit of a wrapper thingy, because if we insert. If we insert this room we also want to update the hotel. How we're going to do that is the following, right? So we're going to open up our room store, insert room. So we need to check that. So what we're going to do is something, we're going to insert this, but we also update the hotel with this room ID, right? That's what we're going to do. The question rather is, how do we do that? That's a good question. It's something with push. That's what I know. We need to push that stuff to the thing. How are we going to do that? I think we're going to do an update or something. Hotel store update. To be honest, why do we need to hotel store update? I'm gonna try to do it like this a little bit, make the name a little bit better, shorter. We're gonna update this. We want a filter, which is going to be a beacon. How did we do that with user, by the way? Let me do this real quick. Open up user, user store. How did we do our update thingy? That was with this piece on M's and all that stuff, right? I remember that. Put. Filter and then an update params. Yeah. I see. It's gonna be a filter here. I'm gonna make it a little bit better. I'm gonna say beast on M. And that's going to be an error, I think. All right, how are we gonna do this? Let's copy this, paste it in. And we're gonna say here, update context. We're gonna delete everything till here. And we're gonna say the filter is going to be a bson.m. The update is going to be a bson.m. And that's going to return just an error. Yes. So what I'm going to say is filter is going to be a bson.m. We're going to say ID. And that's going to be... To be honest, the filter is already the filter. And the update is already the update. Let's keep it simple. It's going to be scall dot update 1 ctx filter update. If r not nil, return nil, r, return, actually to be honest, we could actually return r, I think. Return r, right? Because the r is either going to be, res is used but not, yeah, what do we have? Res dot, yeah, we could double check what did we insert and everything, but it's fine. Like I said, if we need to change something, we are going to do it, right? If we need something, then we are going to do it. What's going on here? For sure, right? Don't worry about that. Yeah, so we can update. So now we can go back to insert room, I guess. Room store, yeah. Update the hotel. Yeah. So we're going to say that the filter is going to be a bson.m. We're going to say ID is going to be this room.hotel ID, right? That's what we're going to update. Then we're going to say an update thingy. We're going to say bson.m. And I think we need to do something like variable push. Not quite sure if there needs to be an underscore. Let me quickly check. No, we don't. And then we're going to say bson.m once again. Rooms, right? That's the thingy, and that's going to be the room.id. And then we're going to say something like if R is going to be... Damn. Now we have a problem because, you see, that's now we have a problem because we don't have the hotel store inside of the Mongo room store. And I knew from the beginning that this is going to be an issue, and I explicitly did not do anything about it because these hiccups you're going to encounter in programming. This is so important that you bump into these things, right? So, because now these are the moments you most likely are going to be frustrated and demotivated because everything was working so fine, right? But now suddenly we need the hotel store to update that. How are we going to do that? That we're going to see in the next lesson. See you then.